Hey guys, welcome to Term 1, Week 1 for Year 6 homework help. I'm going to start with page 8 and do all the multiple choice questions. On the first question, it says all 350 students at our school bought $4.60 each for the excursion. So each student had $4.60 and there's 350 of them. So you can multiply like this, or if you're clever enough, you can figure out that, hey, I'm going to do 4.6 times it by 350 like this. Now we can rewrite this as $4.60 times it by 10 times it by 35, isn't it? Because 35 times 10 will give you 350, right? So we can break the 350 into its factors like this, okay? And now the good thing is when you multiply, you can multiply in any order. So now instead of doing this first, I'm going to do this first. What happens when you multiply $4.60 by 10? You get 46. So this becomes 46, and then you multiply by 35, get the answer. So when you do this, actually, it's the same as doing this. All right, so let's just work on that. Let's do 5 times 6 is 30, 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 is 23, magical 0, 3 times 6 is 18, carry the 1, 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13, and then we add it, so it'll be 0, the 8 plus 3 is 11, carry the 1, that'll be 6, and 1, so it'll be this many dollars. So this will be this one there, D. Answer is D for that one. Let's see if I can get a bigger rubber. This rubber is so tiny. Ah, that's better. All right. Next one, a clown at the circus balances on a plank of wood on top of a cannonball. Okay, so he's on top of a plank of wood. That's on top of a cannonball. That's on top of another plank of wood. That's another top of another cannonball. Now the plank of wood is 6 centimeters and 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters thick. And the cannonball has a radius of 24 centimeters. So this one has a radius of 24, and this one has a radius of 31. The radius of a circle is when you have a circle, and the radius of a circle is from the center of the circle, and you draw a line that goes to the outside, and it touches the outside edge. That's called the radius. It's only half of the diameter of a circle. Diameter goes from one end to the other end, and the radius is only half. So that means that this whole length here is double of the radius. If the radius is 31, this must be 62. And if the radius is 24, this must be 48. So here's the floor. So if the question is, how far off the floor is the clown? There you go. So here's the floor, here's the clown. All you gotta do is add them up. 62 plus 48 plus 4 plus 6, and you get the answer. I'll let you do that yourself. Next question. It says change 25 meters per second to kilometers per hour. Okay, 25 meters is for 1 second, and they want 1 hour. Okay, so what happens in 2 seconds? 2 seconds, well, would that be 2 times 25, isn't it? 3 seconds, that will be 3 times 25. So if we keep going and then we have to reach an hour, how many seconds is an hour? Well, an hour has 3,600 seconds. So how do we work it out? How many meters? We just do 3,600 times 25, just like we've been doing here. See, if it's 7 seconds, it'll be 7 times 25. If it's 3,600 seconds, it's 3,600 times 25. Yeah. I think I got tongue tied there. So anyway, all you got to do is do 25 times 36, and then so just do that first, and then add the 2 zeros at the end. Okay, and then you will get meters. I'll work it out. Let me see. 25 divided by 9. This will be 9. 900, is it? 900 so that's 90,000. So this is 90,000 meters per 3,600 seconds. This is the same as 1 hour. And now we change this one to kilometers. That's 90 kilometers per hour. You're done. So that will be that one. Question 4. what number must be placed in the box so that the number sentence is true? You guys have to guess and check. Just plug in different numbers and then see if it works. If it doesn't work, then it's not the right number. That's all it is. So what you can do is try 3, for example. You could say 3 times by 3 minus 1 plus 2 times 3 and see if that equals to 32. We've got to do BODMAS. So this one must be done first. That's 2. So you have 3 times 2 plus 2 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. It's not 32, so it can't be 3. So you have to try different numbers and see which one you got. Question 5. In the car, we timed ourselves. It took us 12 minutes to cover 15. So let's look at time and distance. I'll put it into 2 different columns. And it says it took me 12 minutes to travel a distance of 15 kilometers. At this rate, how long would it take me to travel 135 kilometers? Whoops. 135 kilometers. So how many times more is that? How many times more is 135 compared to 15? Well, you can just test it out. 15, 30, 45, 60, 75 plus 15 is 90, 105 plus another 15 is 120 plus another 15 is 135. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 9 times more. If you travel 9 times the distance, it's going to take you 9 times longer. So you times it by 9, get the answer. This will be 108 minutes. These are all in minutes, right? 12 minutes, so 108 minutes. Change that 108 to something with hours and minutes and you get the answer. I'm not going to do it for you. You can do that yourself. All right, moving on to the next page. Oops, what did I press there? Okay. Next one says Abby is going to get large house numbers for everyone who lives in her street. She has to buy metal digits from the hardware store. If there are 100 houses in the streets and the number of the first house is 1, how many of the digits 6 will be she needs? So what the question means is this: she needs to buy the plates for every house, and how many 6-digit plates will she need? Well, she's going to need it for the house number 6. She's going to need it for the house number 16. She's going to need it for the house number 26, 36, 46, 56, 66, 76, 86, 96. Do we have 106? No, because 106 is more than 100 and the houses only go up to 100. So we don't need all of that. Okay, but you might think, oh, there's only, 10? But that's not true because there's more. And by the way, this is two plates. So there's also 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, and obviously 70 is not going to work. So all the ones with 60 we need. So all you got to do is count how many 6s you need. So you need 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? You do the rest. You can count it. Oh, by the way, there's 2 6s in here, so be careful. There's 2 of them there. So count how many 6s and you can just answer the question. All right, next one says, I spent half of my money on paper. So imagine here's all your money. Okay, you spent a half of it. So I'm going to cut it in half. You spent all of that on paper. So you spent it on paper. And then you spent 1/3 of what remains. So here's what remains. Here's what remains. All of this stuff here. And you spend 1/3 of it. So what you do is you take what remains and you cut it into 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that you took what remained and you cut into 3 pieces. And you spent 1/3 of it. So you spent 1/3 of this. Okay. And on pens. So this is spent on pens. That left me with $12. So this is $12 right here. That left me with $12 left. And there's $12. So therefore, each of these must be 12 divided by 2 is 6 because we got 2 blocks, each is 6. That means this one must also be 6. So all of this together, 6 times 3 is 18. And $18 is only half of how much he started with. So that must be another $18. So So the question is that I must have started shopping with how much? How much do you have altogether from the very beginning? You can work it out. Next question is how many lots of 1,000 are there? Oh, so what this one says is you have a million, and how many thousands is it? So if you want to know how many thousands, then just divide by 1,000. Cross out the zeros, and the answer is 1,000, which is C. We loaded 33. Okay, this is a third. This is another way of saying a third. We loaded 1/3 of the boxes. That left us 48 boxes. So imagine you got, this is all your boxes. Okay, you just loaded 1/3. So 1/3, these are all boxes. They're gone. And that left you with 48 boxes. So how many boxes were there altogether in the beginning? So if this is 48, whoops, let me just change the rubber type. If that's 48, how much is each of these? This must be 24. This must be 24, and this must be 24. So how many were there in the beginning? You work it out. 24 plus 24 plus 24. Easy. Question number 10. A triangle with exactly 2 equal angles is called an isosceles. Done. Move on to the next one. Question number 11. When a number is divided by 2, 3, 4, or 5, the remainder is always 1. So what does that mean? That's a very tricky question. All right. So let's find a number that can be divided by 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to find the lowest common multiple. Now, to find the lowest common multiple, we need to look at the numbers itself and say, what number can be divided by 2, 3, 4, 5? Now, we don't need to worry about the 2. Why? The reason is because any number that can be divided by 4 can be divided by 2. For example, if I had the number 12, can that be divided by 4? Yes. Can it be divided by 2? Yes. So it doesn't matter. Any number that can be divided by 4 can already be divided by 2. So we don't need to worry about 2. All we need to look at is 3, 4, and 5. What's the lowest common multiple of this one? If you work it out, you're going to get 60. Okay? So 60 can be divided by 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it's the lowest number that can do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 1 to it. So we're going to get 61. So now, if you take 61 and divide it by 2, you're going to get remainder 1. 61 if you divide it by 3, you're going to get remainder 1. 61 if you divide by 4, you get remainder 1. And 61 divided by 5, you also get remainder 1. Okay? So you always get remainder 1 because this special number 61 is a number that is always give you remainder 1 when you divide by 2, 3, 4, 5. So now it says when the smallest number with these properties, and they're talking about 61 right now. And now it says this number is squared. So they want you to take that number and square it, which means 61 times 61. So you work out the answer and then circle the answer for this one there. Question number 12. What is the most likely number needed to continue the series? The most likely, okay, you got to figure out the pattern here. So I help you with the pattern. This one is add 13. This one is add 15. This one is add 17. This one is add 19. What do you think is next? Can you see the pattern? 13, 15, 17, 19. The next one should be 21. These are all odd numbers, right? Going up by 2. So if you add 21, you're going to get 97, and the answer is B. Question 13. The average weight of 5 boys is 32. So imagine you got 5 boys' weight. These squares represents the weight of the 5 boys. They're not the same. Now, how do you find the average of the 5 boxes here? Well, you just add them together and divide it by 5, and you get the average. And the average is 32, which means that the average is equal to 32. The average weight. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to find, when we see this situation, we always find a total first. How do you find a total? You do 5 times 32, you get 160. Whoops, let me just get rid of that and get 160. Because 160 divided by 5 is equal to 32. So now this says the average weight of 3 girls is 40. Okay, so now we have, let's put the girls as triangles here. The average weight of 3 girls. How do you find the average of 3 girls? Add them up, divided by 3. And it says 40. Let's find the total of these 3 weights. So 3 times 40 is 120. What is the average weight of all 8 children? So if you want to find the average weight of all 8 children, you got to add up all the 5, you gotta add up everything up. So add all these up and add the triangles up and divided by what? Divided by 8, because there's 8 people. So add up the mass of everyone and divide by 8. Now we know the first 5 adds up to 160. The next 3 adds up to 120. We worked it out from up here. 160, 120, right? So now what's the average of 8 people? So go ahead and do it. Take 160 plus 120 and then divide it by 8 and get the answer. This should be easy, okay? You can do that one. So that's how you do the question number 13. Question 14, it takes 3 men 7 days. So you have the men's and you have the days. 3 men's 7 days. How many days would take for 2 men? So for 2 men, you have to go to 1 man first. If you only have 1 man, it's going to take, that means 3 to 1, you divide it by 3. From 3 divided by 3 gives you 1. But to do the other one, you got to multiply by 3. Okay, so 3 times 7 is 21, because 1 person by himself will take 3 times longer than 3 people, right? So that's why we have to multiply the number by 3, because he's by himself. So he's going to take 3 times longer than 7 days. So 3 times 7 is 21 days. Now, if he had another person helping him, we're going to divide it by 2. So he's going to have half. He's going to take half the time if he's got another helper. So 1 person takes 21 days, 2 people takes half the time, and 21 divided by 2 is 10.5, which is C. All right, question 15. Use quick method. Oh, this is easy. You got this one, this is multiply, this is multiply, and this is this is multiply, and this is multiply. And they're all multiplying by 13. So all we got to do is say, okay, we're going to use quick method. We're going to say, we're going to multiply by 13, but we're going to add all the other numbers up. We're going to add 18. We're going to subtract 9. And we're going to plus 11. 18 subtract 9 is equal to 9. 9 plus 11 is equal to 20. 20 times 130. You can work it out and get the answer for one of these. Okay, I think that's about it. Some people rushing me to do this, so I'm going to end it here. Okay, bye.